Welcome back. By now, we must have played a little bit with our Git. And so, what we just did or what you just performed is just like a tip of an iceberg of what Git does. We've not talked about Git commit, Git add, Git push. My goal here is just to introduce you to Git and just give you, will I say, a quick run through of how and what you can do with it. So, talking about Git, doing what we've done with Git, we've just done it in our local system. But there's no way we can only track that now in our local system. But the question is, how do we save this online so that if our system has issues, we can actually collaborate with other persons. If our system has issues, we can easily swap with a different system and get the same files and continue from where we stop. This is where GitHub comes in. So GitHub is more like a web-based platform that uses the tools of Git to uh, help out developers and teams to collaborate to track their, just like an online virtual system control. Instead of you to be doing it on your local system, you now have kind of an online based system control. So this is where GitHub comes in. So GitHub is creating a GitHub account is a straightforward process that requires an email address, a password, and a username. And once your account is verified, you can start using it to host your project and collaborate with others. So what we'll do now is to go to GitHub official website, which is open a browser and create an account with it. So let's go to github.com. I think I'm logged in. So what you should do is to let's log out. So let's go back again. Let's start fresh. Ah, still logged out. Sign out now. So you see this on your screen. When you get to your GitHub, you sign up for GitHub, and if you have your Google with you, you can create a free account with Google or choose pick through this form and create an account. So when you create an account, you automatically get logged in and you've logged in. You set up your profile. So you set up your profile. Let's say you set up a profile and then you have something like this. Then after you set up a profile, what you do is to go to now. The next thing we need to do is to connect. Having created this file, what we should do next is to connect our GitHub with our Git with our local system. There are many ways to do this. We can use, let's go through the documentation. Let's see. One good way to work is working with tools and softwares. So go through that documentation. In GitHub official documentation, you could see that connecting Git and GitHub. So you see when you talk about connecting how both works together, you you have you can connect using through SSH. So you see, you can either use what they call SSH, which is you have SSH or through HTTPS. So all these methods are, I would say, for beginners, are a little bit complex for you to get through. But an easy way for us to connect our GitHub to our Git, which is our local system, is to use VS Code. VS Code has been able to reduce the whole complexity of getting your SSA. SSA, you go to your profile, you create SSA keys. They are like secret keys that to connect like two systems together. You connect your a particular system. I can connect my system to your system through using SSH. Those are secret keys. So I can actually access your files if I have that access to maybe your private keys, your SSH or your system and all that. But you can also have through HTTPS. Using HTTPS would be through you create personal token still from your VS Code, still from your GitHub account. You go to settings, you go to settings, you can see setting up SSH, then there is that for personal token and all that. So all those ways are ways you connect your Git to your system, yeah, to your GitHub rather. So but an easy way would be a VS Code. So if you get your VS Code, you open your VS Code, we already have our VS Code installed. If you go to this side of your screen, the setting part of your screen, you see something like, or yeah, depending on the VS Code version you are working on. You see, I'm logged into my GitHub. If I'm not logged into my GitHub, I'm going to see sign into GitHub. And when I do that, when I click on it, it's creating a link and redirects me to my browser, of which it will authorize me to log into my that I will to tell me to log into my GitHub account. And when I do that, it automatically connects my system, which is my VS Code, to my GitHub. So with this particular process, you've bypassed all these going with SSH, going with personal token, going with this. That's actually a way of doing it, but I would say a more complex way of doing it, or before the era of a VS Code modification and innovation, that's the way they do it. But with this VS Code modifications and innovations, you just come here. Every connection that was supposed to be done by you manually is now being automated by just clicking on logging in. When you log in, if you log in as a user, if you log in, once you log in, you get the redirection to your web browser for you to connect officially to the web, to your GitHub, and immediately authorize it, it comes here immediately. And immediately you do that, you have something like this. You can come to Immediately you do that, you see this icon here. Yeah, when you see this icon, you click on it, and you have this initialize repo published to GitHub. So this simply means if you click on initialize this, it's same thing with this. What we did, Git init, what we did then to actually bring Git into. So you see that VS Code has made it easier for us instead of having doing this manually from our Git batch like we did not quite long. Instead of doing this manually, you can easily have that being done with your VS Code here. So we would not use this. We'll just come here, click on initialize repo, and automatically we have that Git in it. You see, if I should go to this folder now, let's go to that folder, fundamental. So this is for an existing project. We will do the one for a new project. Now, if I should click on view, let's view show hidden files. You see that Git now automatically it comes here, but that was not here before. It wasn't here before. Let's see if I delete. Okay, it wasn't here before. So you could see now that this now has telling me that, oh, I'm not having GitHub, and you see it's giving me an easy way to just say push commit. Like I said, this is a way of automatically sending your files to the web browser. So this is the way you do it. So if I come here, and you can also use the terminal, click on Ctrl J, you open your terminal, and you can do same. Instead of doing initialize there, you can do this your git init here also, and it's going to work. But for the sake of beginning stage, let's just let's just use our VS Code easy tools without going through terminal, because whatever we are doing here, we can also do it with this place. We can also do it with our Git batch. But for now, for the beginning stage, let's work with our VS Code extension. Let's work with our VS Code. So now we successfully connected, we successfully has connect the VS Code, sorry, our GitHub with our Git using VS Code. So VS Code has helped us to save a lot of time using SSH, using SSH or using our personal token and all that. So that's like an advantage of using VS Code. Now we talk about VS Code workflow. We just did something about that right now. So VS Code provides a powerful built-in graphic user interface for Git that streamlines the command line workflow. Exactly what I just showed you. So, but you still need to, we've done this already, you still need to install Git separately in your system. But after that, you can perform most version control tasks directly from the editor's interface, just like we did for Git patch. So this is exactly the practical we just did just now, connecting our when we connected our GitHub to our VS Code, our GitHub to our Git using VS Code. So having done that, you just need to, for the sake of this, so this was done on the project I was working on. Our project, what we did as CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. This is the same project. This is it. So immediately you click on that publish, it gives you this. All you just need to do is what they call commit. Commit is like a message, the message you want to remind you of what you've done. Since this is our initial push, I'll call it init. So what we do is I click on commit. So commit is to save this file in our local system now. So now it's now in our local system like the Git. You can do the same thing here, like I said, Git commit. But now I did not use the command Git commit. This is the actual command Git commit, and then let's say I put the text there in it. This is what I just did just now. That commit I clicked on, this was the command that ran. Same thing, I can still run this command here. I can still run it in this particular place. I will still get the same thing. Shit. Okay. Yeah, I will still get the same thing. So you see, this is what I just did. Then to publish is simply press git push. That's what publish does. So if I click on publish, it simply means I should push. Now the question is do you want it to be a private repo or a public repository? So a public repository in your GitHub is in such a way that everybody can have access to it, everybody can see it. But when you talk of private repository, it's like a personal, only people that has access to it. The only people that have access to it are those that you authorize, or you give, you authorize them to view it, like sending them a link and adding them as collaborators to that particular repository. But for now, let's go with public. So click on public repository, and you can see that it's pushing to publish repository. And once it's done, let's see. Once it's done, let's go to our repository. Come to our repository, and you can see it's fundamental. So it's here. All what we've done is here. All we just did is here. So you can see. So now I can easily add, let's say, let's just make a change. You see what will happen. So now you see it tracks changes, tells us that I've made a change in this particular system. I've made a change. There's some helpers you can download. Git. There's some Git extensions you download on your VS Code for easy work through actually. But for the basics, we can work with this. So you see that it tracks my change. I made a change here. Let's say I removed here again. So if I click on this place now, to show me the different places I've made changes. So let's say I want to push again. I can make a commit. Let's say, let's just work with this terminal. Let's leave those terminal. So I can say change heading title with title heading, and I commit. Or you could, an easy way is just to press commit and sync or commit and push. You can do this, it works. But let's just go with the manual way of like this whole process of going with it. So synchronize is you're trying to push and pull at the same time. So any file that is there already in the system, or any, you are trying to synchronize them so that at every time what is online is the same with what is on your system. So this is just a copy of what is online. The remote branch is a copy of what is online. So if I should go back to my VS Code and let me refresh my page, you will see that I have a commit here. Yeah, you see, change title heading. So when I click on it, let's say I click on it, you see the changes I've made on this file. So you can see how you can track different changes and you can see different commits that are in the system. All the changes that has been made and everything, you can able to track them. So you can see how powerful it is, giving you that leverage to see your progress and know what you've been doing and how to track your growth. Now we've talked about how what we just did is how we can initialize or push an existing project, which is the project we've been doing. So now we ask ourselves, what if we want to get a project online? Let's say, let's pull, we call it pull. So let's look for a repository. Say you want to work on a particular project online and you are given this particular file. Okay, take go and you are given this particular file. So let's pull this, let's look for, so this is how you, it's called clone a repo. So like I told you, you are getting a copy of your work online, you are getting a copy to your system. So to clone a repo, you can see you can use SSH, you can use GitHub CLI, yeah. But an easy way is get to this HTTPS. You can click on it, copy it. You can go to your Git. Let's open a new VS Code. You can as well use Git batch to do that. Like I told you, you can use this for everything, but for now, I'll be working with VS Code for in our beginning stages. So I can come here and clone repository. So when I click on clone repository, it's, yeah, you see the command prompt. When you say clone repository, I can easily come here and paste what I've copied, or I can clone from my GitHub. Let's say I created okay, yes, let's work with this. So I click on this and I press enter. So when I press enter, you see it asks me where do I want to keep the file. I say I want to keep the file. Let's say I want to keep the file here, and I click and it saves the file there. Mm. So while we're waiting for it to load up the file, there's another thing we can do. Now we've worked on two ways. An existing file on our system, we were able to initialize it and push it to our GitHub to publish it in the repo. Secondly, we are cloning from getting the using the HTTPS, using our code, using from HTTPS way of cloning Git clone with our VS Code. We've done that. But thirdly, there's a third way of also accessing or using file, which is you creating a repo. So now we're working on it with existing folders so far. But now let's create a repo so that we can actually work with a new repo and see the whole process of creating a new repo and working with it with our system. So we come here, we click on repository. So when you click on repository, you see new. What does new do? So create new repo. So now let's say GitHub underscore practice. Then you can choose to add description. You add readme. Readme is just like a default file, a file that tells you about that repository. That like there you can explain what that project is all about. Then how do you want it? Should it be public or private? Let's work with public. Then git ignore. This is a file that tells your git which files not to send online, because there are some files like there are some, they call it env files. So there are some files you don't want to be posted online because maybe it contains your passwords, contains some private information that you don't want to, since it's a public repo, you don't want everybody to get access to. So you put the name of that file in your git ignore. That is what this git ignore does. Very important file. But for now, let's just leave it. Let's just work with readme that tells you about your project. So we'll create a repo now. So having created a repo, we go through this normal process. So now we'll go through the normal process of doing this, then going to um come here, we put, or if you click on clone from GitHub, it's going to search your GitHub for all your GitHub, that every GitHub, every, both yours and every other one, so even some person's own general GitHub is going to search it first for you. But since I have the URL link, I can just go and click on it, and so now should I open a new window? Yes, I just open this because there are two of them, so I can choose to open here. So this is my portfolio, the first one I did. I have it now on my system. Then this one we just did, this for git practice. So with this now, I can come here, create a file, let's say index.html, and then I can choose to HTML. Okay, so you see immediately I created this file. It's trying to track my progress now. You could see it here. It's trying to get, yeah, I created a file. That's what it's trying to tell me, that I created a file. So if I created a file, I have this, and let's say I create CSS file, let's say style.css. I link it to my before project. I have styles.css. Then I have, let's say I create a script file, script.js. I can choose to have it here also. So I have it here also. So I choose to dot slash and dot slash. You can still leave it like that. So with this now, with these changes I have here, I can still go through the same and press init or whatever command, whatever comment you want to write on that particular part, and I'll work with this. And with this, you've successfully host your files online, and you can go to any system, any computer of your choice. You log in, you can then log into your account, like click here, so you see where the user can sign out. You sign out and sign into a different account, then access the files you want to get from your GitHub, and you put it on your system, and you see that you continue from there. And everywhere, anywhere you go with your system or any system, you can easily collaborate. So if I'm working with you, I can track what you've been doing. We can be working on the same project. I come here, I see your progress. I see the progress you've done so far. Look at what I just did this year. You can go and pull it, work on it in your system, make changes, send it back online. I'll do the same, look at what you've done, and that is how we collaborate and learn and interact with people working online. That's why you see that different developers work together, but they don't really work in the same environment together, because they have a common GitHub where they can work and push their files and everything. So having said that, so this is your README. You can edit from your system, or you can edit from your system here, or you can simply edit from here. It's just to tell you about the project. So with all that being said, I want us to work with the what we've been doing so far, all our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript assignment folders and all that. I want us to create a GitHub account, save them online, and push your code online, then send a link to me as your assignment. So that will be the assignment for this week. So the assignment will be version control your portfolio. So you use your git init, your push to your GitHub, and add readme file. So like I said, with VS Code, all this becomes easy. All you just need to do is connect to your GitHub from your VS Code after installing the Git already on your system. And yeah, then follow the process for installing Git. Then after that, you connect to your GitHub with your VS Code, then submit the repository URL. So that will be to the assignment. And like I said last week, programming is like any other sport. You might know the rules, but you have to play to learn. And this is Mark Zuckerberg that said this. So you don't just watch this video and say, yes, I understand. Yeah, okay, follow this process. I follow this process. I follow that process. You have to get your hands dirty. You have to play with it to learn more. You learn with experience. And knowledge, they say, lies in repetition. Well, thank you very much. And I look to hear from you and get my assignments or any questions. Thank you.